Hello. Welcome to our devotional time at Temple Baptist Church here in Poplar, Bluff, Missouri. We're still in Corinthians. We're in the second letter of Corinthians today. Going to talk a little bit about 2 Corinthians. We're going to look at chapter 13. I encourage you to look at verses 5 through 11. I'm going to look at verse 5 and use that for our context today, our text today. But Paul is saying here to the Corinthian church in his second letter, examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Prove your own self, know you not your own self, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except you be reprobates. Now, exams come in all kinds of forms, don't they? There's a lot of people have a yearly physical exam, and that's necessary for health. There are financial examiners, I guess, who ensure that the law regarding the money transactions are followed. And then, of course, if you're in school or in college, there are exams and that move you forward towards whether you're going to graduate or whether you're going to get that diploma or not. And performance really on an academic exam tells us something not only about the student, but about the professor as well. It tells us that we discover if the student has mastered the concept that was presented, and we see how well the professor has communicated the main idea in the course. So we can see that from these scores, and Paul is wrapping up the letter here to Corinthians. He is encouraging them to engage in a spiritual self-examination. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done a spiritual self-examination? Some of these other exams I talked about. Years ago, I took exams in school. Not going to talk about the results of those, but the teacher done their job. It wasn't their fault. I'm not going to blame them. So he's doing that. He desired for the Corinthian Christians to affirm their faith in Christ. He's doing that. He's wanting them to do that. He's prayed for their perfection in verse 9, and so for them to become more like Christ in all their ways. And that's what we are to do today, and we're to be Christ-like. And, Paul's fundamental aim here was for the believer to reflect on an intimate relationship with Jesus. We have a relationship with Jesus. So, I don't know other things I'm talking about examining. Probably a lot of us check, I don't call it an exam, but check our car over, make sure the tires are all up, and make sure the lights are all working, and this and that and the other, and maybe some things around the house we check. But when's the last time we conducted a spiritual self-examination? Examine yourself spiritually. We spend some time doing a lot of things, but let's spend some time with the Lord and ask Him to show us what areas we need attention in. I guarantee you we all need attention in some new areas in our life. Even, I'm going to include myself right up there at the top of that. So I have to do a spiritual examination and just see where I'm at in my relationship to the Lord and ask Him to help me, ask Him to show me, and the more I'm in His Word, the more I'm going to find out what I need to do for Him. So let's examine ourselves and see where we're at with the Lord and get closer to Him. Let's get an A instead of a B. But I don't think we grade that way when it comes to the Lord. But anyhow, we are going to be judged, and we're going to be held accountable for how we conduct our Christian life. We invite you to come and be a part of our services here at Temple. We meet on Sunday mornings at 8 for our first worship service. Then we have Sunday school classes beginning at 9. And our second worship service on Sunday morning is at 10. And we have our Sunday night services at 6 o'clock and Wednesday night at 7. May God bless you is our prayer.